What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with another video after a long absence. I went to Central America for a long vacation with my wife, no kids. That was pretty awesome. I am the color of C-3PO's red arm in The Force Awakens. I'm like a lobster color. It's pretty awesome. You see that background behind 4-LOM over here, or Zuckuss, or whatever the hell you call him? That's my skin color. But no, I had a great time though. But I am back finally. I've got some really exciting items coming here soon. My tripod is breaking, so that's why it's shaking a lot. But I got one interesting piece of news that I thought I would share from Collector Archive Services, which is a grading company here in the U.S., very similar to AFA. But you know, they announced two different things this past week while I was out of town, and I thought I would share them. The first being that they are now offering the ability to get graded and certified autographed pieces. So, for example, my only autographed action figure is this one right here. This Power of the Force 2. I believe this is from 97 or 98. But this is the signed by Alan Harris, the actor who played Bossk. He also played a number of other characters, but he played Bossk, and I got this as a gift a while back, and I never got it graded, obviously, because it's autographed, and AFA does not do that. Well, CAS just announced that they partnered with Beckett. And for those of you unfamiliar with Beckett, they are an autograph and memorabilia certification authentication company, really highly respected. They early on, they only dealt with kind of like athlete stuff, like, you know, signed footballs and baseball, stuff like that. Baseball cards, stuff like that, but they've really kind of moved into all things autographed, Hollywood people, things like that. And so CAS just announced that they partnered with Beckett, and so for an extra fee now, you can get items such as this Bossk graded and the autographed authenticated. So how CAS is going to do it is, you know, every quarter or so, Beckett is going to send a representative on site and authenticate all autographs, all autographed items sent in to CAS, and provide their certification that it is indeed authentic. I guess they have autograph experts on site, and at that point, CAS will then do their normal process of putting the action figure in their acrylic coffin and then grading it with a label. So, you know, CAS's prices, you know, for carded figures, depending on the size and age and value, you know, they range for, you know, I'd say $40 to $50 on average. And then you'll have to pay an extra fee to have Beckett come and authenticate the autograph. And they're charging $35 per item based on the website. So that is pretty interesting news. I'll probably go, since this is the only one I got and everything else in my collection is pretty much graded, I'm going to send this in at some point. And, you know, the CAS did warn people that, you know, Beckett's only got to be on site every few months. So what their plan is to keep all autograph submissions kind of stacked up and organized, and then when Beckett comes to authenticate everything, they'll hand everything over to them, and then after that, then CAS will you know, grade the item, you know, the actual item, not the autograph. So they'll grade the card, the bubble, and the figure just like normal, and then they'll add a certification saying that Beckett has authenticated the autograph. So pretty cool news. You know, this was an item. This is something that's been in demand for a while, just because of all the different conventions and things like that. The only way to really get a signed item authenticated is if CAS or AFA was on site at the convention. You got the item signed while at the convention, and then immediately while there, gave it to the grading company. So it was kind of a cumbersome process, and it didn't help people like me who had an item in their collection that was already autographed, and you know, without a, you know, kind of a certification note. So anyway, that's kind of a cool news. The other big one, which is probably more important for those of you who do get items graded, is that CAS has opened up a separate division, hired a bunch of new employees to only handle mint on card items. So still sealed in the package items like the 4 that you see in front of you. All 4 of these are recent purchases. I found a Facebook seller who was dumping a bunch of carded Return of the Jedi figures, and I've got a great deal on these. I think I got 8 of them all together, and I paid $40 a piece for each of them. And I don't know what they'll grade at. If I had to guess, I'd say anywhere from 70 to 80. I don't think any of these will come back at 85s, but given how cheap the price was, I got these a few months ago, and I got 8 of them. And, they're all pretty good shape, though. Most of them have unpunched hanger tabs and, very minor creasing, things like that. So, but anyway, CAS just announced that they opened up this new division, and it's going to be solely focused on carded items, not just Star Wars, but any carded, mint on card items. And if you submit to them, they are guaranteeing a 30-day turnaround from the time of, receipt and logging it in. There's usually a couple week lag time there. So it's 30 days from whenever they log it into your account. And it's usually about a 2-week lag from when the item arrives to when it actually shows up on your account. So it's really about a 6-week turnaround, which is still shorter than the longest time period AFA offers. AFA offers a 2-month turnaround from the time of receipt and logging it in. So pretty cool. The other good thing is they are guaranteeing those 30 days by offering a discount. So if for some reason your items are not finished within the 30-day time period, then you get a 50% off credit for your next submission. So let's say I submit, $200 worth of items in grading costs. If they're not done in those 30 days, they're going to give you $100 back for your next submission. So, that's a pretty good guarantee, in my opinion, that they're actually going to get the items turned around faster. I mean, CAS has been notorious for slow turnaround times. It's usually like a 5-month turnaround, which is absolutely ridiculous. So I think this is their way of trying to compete with AFA, because AFA's turnaround times have gotten shorter. They've really ramped it up. And, they're even for their longest time period of 2 months, it's usually more like 7 weeks. So, this guarantee by CAS is probably a way for them to compete with AFA, especially since AFA tends to receive most of the mint on card items, since that's what they specialize in anyway. I think that CAS is just trying to build up their name a little bit by getting folks who would normally submit stuff to AFA that's been on card over to CAS instead of just sitting in loose figures or bootlegs or, kind of off-the-wall items that AFA won't grade. My throat is so dry. I'm sorry. Anyway, so that's interesting news, from my perspective. Whether it's going to increase their volume of mint on card submissions, I don't know. It does seem like it's, if you look at eBay listings now, it seems like there's more and more CAS graded items now. Obviously nowhere near or even a tenth of what, the AFA number of items are. But my hope is that, and they hinted at this in their news release, my hope is that they'll do the same thing for loose submissions, because their loose submission turnaround time is atrocious. I mean, it's like 5 months. So, which I think is way too long. So I'm hoping that they will follow this up later this year with an announcement. Even if they cut the 5-month submission turnaround time for loose figures and bootlegs, if they can cut that in half to like 2.5 months, I would be happy. But as it stands now, the 5-month turnaround is just unbearable, especially when you're like me and you got a bunch of items in there, you're just waiting to get them back. So, but I did think that was interesting news, and I give CAS a lot of credit because they are listening to their customers, and whatever you want to think about CAS or AFA or any of the other grading companies, I do give them a lot of credit for saying, hey, people are complaining about not being able to get autographed items graded, and they're also complaining about the turnaround times. So this is kind of their first volley back at AFA to try and improve their customer service. So anyway, I just thought you'd find that of interest. Just real quick, you can see here, this is a Canadian Klaatu. You can see the French up in the upper right-hand corner. We got a Kenner U.S. release Forlom there. We got a Chief Chirpa, and then we got a Weequay. And I think, is this Canadian? This might be a Palatoy. Let me see. Yeah, this is a Palatoy. I'm sorry. Yeah, so that's a Palatoy Klaatu, and then the others are all just straight U.S. But I got such a good deal on all these, and the bubbles are all in excellent condition, despite the yellowing. But The Chief Trapper is not yellowed at all, and then the other three are yellowed, but the bubbles themselves have no dings to them that I can tell if they are ding. I think 4-Lime's got a minor ding, but that's nothing major. And all the cards in general are in pretty good shape. This Weequay's got some damage here along the upper hanger tab, but in general, I would think these will all score kind of 75-ish. Maybe I might get an 80 or 2 out of it if I'm lucky, but given how cheap they were, I couldn't pass them up. I mean, $40 a piece for these. Are you kidding me? And I got, let's see, I got 4 others that I did get. So I'm starting to get a little bit of a backlog of items I've got to get graded. So I've got to stop buying crap. But these I did buy several months ago. I just haven't shown them to you. Anyway, I hope you found that information helpful. I've got a couple of other cool items here. If I can get off my butt, I will show them to you here shortly. I got one unboxing that I haven't done yet. I literally just got back from Central America, and I haven't even opened this item yet. So we'll take a look at that. It should be 3 graded Kenner figures. And then I've got a couple of other cool bootlegs that came in while I was away. So if I can get my act together, then I will show those to you today as well. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later.